Bright will be back as well, available.
Yeah.
I'm imagining. So, do you think he's got a chance of starting instead of Iwata?
If he gives up the SIGs.
Well, he had a really good AFCON.
Welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue. And on Saturday afternoon, Birmingham City face Stoke City, who are having a good season so far. But it's worth noting that at the time of recording, Stoke City face Middlesbrough this evening as part of their midweek game. So, we are going to talk about Stoke, we're going to talk about setup, but of course, league position and points and all those things may change by the time this video goes live. So we did just want to make you aware of that. And Birmingham City come into this game after that 2-0 away win at Sheffield Wednesday. And it looks like we're hopefully starting to get a little bit of momentum now in the league. Dad, a lot of Blues fans, after we beat Sheffield Wednesday, have said that hopefully that's the turning point in our season. What do you think about that?
I don't. Well, I mean, if you base it on the first half performance, and we've always analysed that game, haven't we? And I don't think it's a turning point. I think it's a good sign that we got an away point, got a clean sheet. So I got away 3 points and got a clean sheet. But I think you can't. I personally don't think you can look at that and see that's not a turning point. I do like the fact that we are starting. We've obviously won 2 and drawn 1 of our last 3 games, and 2 of those were away. So we've got 4 points from our last 2 away games. That suggests that we're at least trying to do something. But if you look at just purely based on performance, we were lucky to get a draw against Swansea away, and I think that. If we were playing anybody else but Sheffield Wednesday, I think that could have been a different result. So I'm not putting it down on it, by the way. I think it's positive that we're picking up
momentum,
which we want, yeah. But I don't see it's too early to call it a turning point. Yeah. I think we need a few more games to make that categorisation.
Also, before those away games, we beat Coventry at home. So actually, if you look at Coventry, the 2 away games, and let's just say we do get 3 points against Stoke on Saturday, things are looking like they're moving in the right direction. Is it? Of course, that's a big ask. I'm not saying that we're going to get 3 points as a dead cert. I'm just saying we are good at home. If we do carry on that momentum, things are starting to hopefully look a little bit brighter, aren't they?
Do you know what, mate? All I'm seeing is points ticking over on the board. That's all I want to see. I just want to see us, steadying ourselves, getting ourselves in that middle. If we can make a challenge to go higher, fine. But that's all I'm looking for. And I'm sure that's all Blues fans are, happy just to see the more points being accumulated in the league.
Especially away from home.
But especially away from home, yeah. I mean, going back to Stoke, mate, like you say, I mean, they've had such a turnaround. I mean, they had a poor season last season, but I mean, Mark Robbins came in, steadied the ship, kept them up because they were in the relegation battle for a long time, weren't they? Yeah. And they're now 7th in the league, so they're just literally 2 points off the playoffs, so they're right in the mix. They're in a good season. They started off very well. Then they had a patch in November and December where they lost 5 out of 6 games, and then they've started to go right down the table, and then they started to improve. So they've only lost now 1 of the last 5. In their last 3 games, they've beaten Hull City away, which I think is a fabulous result. If you look at the way Hull are playing at the moment, Hull are 4th, that's great. And they also beat Norwich away, and again, they seem to be on the improvement as well. And they drew 0-0 at home to Queen's Park Rangers. So I think they'll come to us with confidence. Why not? They're higher than us in the table. They've got some really good players, which we'll talk about in a moment. I think this will be an interesting game. I hope it's better than last time we played them at home, though.
Was that under Rooney?
Yeah, Boxing Day.
We
ruined our Christmas, didn't it?
That was shocking.
We've got to get that out of our system, that one. Because we refer to that a lot, don't we? We're pretty consistent with this, but some games just burn in your memory, don't they? This is one of them. It's terrible.
It was. The only positive to that was that the podcast was... our idea came from that game. That's the only positive I'm taking. But you're right, Dad, that was terrible. Some good memories of Stoke, though, when Tony Mowbray was in charge and we won 2-1. Obviously, we were hanging in there at the end, that real sort of intense end.
That was away, wasn't it?
That was away from home, yeah. Of course, if we're going to reference the game earlier in the season, Dad, we did lose 1-0 away at Stoke this season. But it was
we weren't even in it.
It was just a nothing game. Yeah. It was just a set piece, a header. He had all the time in the world to head it, and he kind of looped over Allsop at the sort of back post from memory. Really disappointing, but I felt like, that was the game for me where we looked away from home like something wasn't right, and it was alarming to some extent. In terms of Stoke, Dad, they have a top defence.
Yeah.
Mark Robbins has really gone for defence first and solidarity. Again, I believe in terms of goal conceded, they're top of the table.
They are.
Yeah.
They've conceded 23. Ipswich are next with 24, then Middlesbrough with 28.
Yeah,
they have literally at the moment, as things stand, they are the best defence in this division.
Outstanding, isn't it? And Robbins clearly puts that principle first of defence. It's a sound principle to go by, Dad, because if you're solid at the back, you can nick games.
Yeah.
Well, generally speaking, they're relatively low scoring team, apart from a few exceptions, which I'm sure you've got all the results on your laptop, Dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, they as I said, put defence first, which means, as I said, they can have that small margin level of win then. But yeah, as I said, Robbins has really put that physicality, defence, structure,
Yeah.
sensibleness before everything, and it's a winning strategy for them.
Yeah, I mean they like you said, they're top of the defence, but they don't score many goals. They're around about 2/3 down. In fact, they're about eighth bottom of goals scored. But like you said, you don't need to score loads of goals if you're not conceding many. You can win games like that. They've only scored 32 goals. We've scored 38. Their away record is very, very good. They are 7th in the away table. So they've got the 20 points on the road, so they're very good on the road. But what I did notice about their away victories, I mean, they've been beaten four of the bottom 5. They've beaten away. They've also beaten Southampton away, and their one standout away victory was that victory at Hull City, which I thought was absolutely excellent. So most of their victories, apart from Hull, have been towards the bottom of the table. But you know what? To beat Hull, I think shows that they've got the pedigree to do really well. So that they like counter-attack, very strong at counter-attacks, and we'll have to watch that. Obviously, when we're attacking, because we know that because they've got Sorba Thomas on one wing and they've got Manhoof on the other, haven't they?
Well, Manhoof has been coming off the bench recently.
Has he?
Yeah.
And they got Mbama as their number 9. I'm talking about their last game.
He's broke his leg.
Has he?
Yeah. He broke his
That's
leg
a
against QPR, so he's gone back
Yeah.
to. I believe he's gone back to Man City for his treatment.
Oh, okay. Well, he played in there. Remember, this is being recorded before they play Middlesbrough, just before. And in their game, the last game we played at the time of recording was against QPR, which was a 0-0 draw, and he was their forward.
Yeah, he went off with a broken leg.
Oh, okay. So he went.
Yeah, really serious injury. I believe I saw something from Mark Robbins 3 days ago, which said that he's broke his leg. So I think it was obviously. I don't think it was clearly a very serious injury.
Who's their excellent goalkeeper as well that got injured as well?
Jansen, he's injured as well.
And they brought in Bazuma from Southampton.
Yeah.
He was in goal against us at St. Mary's.
And Lewis Baker's injured as well from their centre midfield. So they are actually under the cosh in terms of injuries. They are a little bit thin on the ground. So, I think definitely, Dad, their biggest threat, and I'm sure you're probably going to get into this now, is Sorba Thomas.
Yeah.
9 goals, 6 assists. But I'm going to let you take the.
I've got 7 assists.
Sorry, 7 assists.
9 goals, 7 assists. Then you got Millian Manhoof, 5 goals, and then Mubama 5 goals, and Lewis Baker 4. So really, it's Sorba Thomas. Now, I would actually say this now. He's one of the signings of the season. They got
Sorba
him
Thomas.
They got him from Huddersfield, and they paid I don't know how much they paid, but it weren't very much for him. Have I got that? I haven't got that detail here. No, it's just basically it's an undisclosed fee, but I don't think it would have been an absolute fortune. But what he's done, 9 goals and 7 assists so far in the league, he's got to be one of the bargains of the season. And he's rapid as well. You know, he was really good against us when we played them at their ground, about 365, and I think that's what really stifled us. Their pace on the wings really suffocated us. And, it wasn't, you mentioned as well when we lost there, Matt, earlier in the season, it wasn't just about the disappointment of the goal. It's the way we didn't play.
Yeah. We didn't turn up, did we?
We didn't turn up, we didn't really offer ourselves absolutely anything. And it was never going to be a game that we were going to win the way we play. But some really, really dangerous players they've got and, and a good side. And I think, they're going to be there or thereabouts in the playoffs. As I say, these injuries do affect players, but don't forget we are in the January transfer window now, so they have got an opportunity to do something about that. I mean, Mark Robbins will definitely set them up in the same formation as us, 4-2-3-1. He's done that for every game this season.
I think it's worth noting as well, Dad, they're a very physical team.
Yeah.
They're going to bring power. They're going to bring physicalness. They're going to definitely fight for every ball and dedicate that intensity to their individual battles. And again, from a Blues perspective, we have to be ready for that. Because again, I'm not going to bang that drum. Everyone's heard it. We've spoke about it a lot. We need to up that physicality. Yeah. And I think that has impacted my selection when it comes to going for the Blues team, Dad. But they're also an intelligent and organised team, defensively compact, as we've referenced with all their stats. But what I like about them, in terms of if I'm going to give it a moment of admiration, is they try and cut off the midfield supply lines quite well, and they can try and suck you into the game that they want you to play. Yeah. So they know you're weak on the wings, they'll try and cut you out wide. If they know you're poor centrally, they'll try and focus you in centrally. But the way they do that is through central overload in the midfield. So again, they will try and cut off Paik. They'll try and cut off, if we're going to use the last game, Doyle, Solis, whoever's in there. So again, we need to be wary of that. And they have someone's described their press as calculated. So it's not aggressive like we have Stansfield and Kyogo who run it relentlessly regardless, but they'll squeeze the pressure at the times they know they can. So when the game starts to turn sometimes and teams fall into the ascendancy, they might up it slightly then. Or if we're having a bit more of a ball, they might drop it slightly.
Yeah.
So it's a bit more of a calculated, educated way of doing the press, which is quite good. And again, Dad, they're quite a patient team. So I think this is going to be, quite a cagey game in terms of a lot of their strengths tailored towards ours as well. So actually, I think it's going to be two teams sussing each other out.
Yeah.
And I think that we have to be patient. We have to be up for the battle. And I think there will be goals scored, but I don't think there'll be many.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, Mark. Just looking while you were talking, and obviously, and I remember their press being quite clever when we played them, and that stopped us as well. And they press us a lot in our corners as well. So they actually almost suffocate you into the corners, get the ball break, and then they obviously got good wingers to cross as well. But interestingly, for all their good attributes and the good season they had, look at the league table. They're in 7th. We're currently in 13th at the time of recording. Right. They're only 3 points ahead of us. That could change if they beat Borough because they're at home to Borough. But at the time of recording, they're only 3. And again, I just want to emphasise what Matt says. We keep emphasising that we're doing this before that game. And the reason for that, basically, is that we've had so many new signings that me and Matt have had to really look at our schedule for recording. And this is why we're recording this one now in anticipation that we may be in the studio a lot more in a few weeks. So anyway, that just explains it in a little bit. Should we get to the Blues team, Matt?
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. So I think I took us through the last few teams there. Did you want to take us through your 11 and I'll give mine?
Yeah, now obviously we've got new signings that we know that Solis will be available. I'm assuming Osman will be available, and I'm not too sure about Prisk. I'm hoping and thinking that he might be available, but I'm also, part of my thinking is that will Chris Davies, because they've only just joined about a week, will he put him on the bench? Or will he make them a start? And that'll be down to their level of fitness. So this is what I've gone based upon that thought process about whether on the bench or not. I've gone for Beadle in goal, Wagner as our left back, Clara and Neumann as our centre halves, and Awata as right back. In midfield, I have gone for Paik and Doyle starting. On the left, I have plumped for Osman. I think Osman, that's to replace Kumas. Roberts on the right, and I've gone for Stano in the 10 and Kyogo in the 9.
Okay.
But having said that, based upon I did this yesterday, but based upon the performance against Sheffield Wednesday, I'm actually thinking now that it might be Dutch in the 10 and Stano in the 9.
Okay.
So it's a very similar team to Sheffield Wednesday with Prisk and with Solis on the bench, because Solis came on for about 20 minutes, didn't he, against Sheffield Wednesday, and he looked good, but he's going to need time to get up to fitness levels and obviously be sort of getting to the level tactically like all the other players.
Well, he's not coming from nothing. He's came from a team on loan, so he's had game practice. He's not coming like unfit, Solis. But I completely take your point. Maybe he needs to get
getting much game time with Girona.
Up to speed with the English game.
Yeah.
I've gone for the same back line: Beadle, Wagner, Clara, Neumann, and Awata. Yeah. I've gone for Paik and Solis in the midfield. Yeah. Because the reason why I picked Solis is because of the physicality he gives us. And I referenced earlier, Dad, Stoke are a very physical team. Yeah. I think if we have Paik and Doyle in there, we could get overran.
I think I'd like to see him start, but what I don't want us doing is bringing in players that are not quite ready and they end up getting injured. So it might be that if he's going to be cautious with him, he might. But that was my thought process. But equally, I did think about starting him as well. But
I mean, we're not privy to that information, are we? We can't make that call. So I'm hoping that everything's all good and there isn't any fitness issues. Of course, if there is, Chris Davies won't play him, but. Also, Dad, I'd say, I think you referenced it in the post-Sheffield Wednesday game review, that Doyle's been a little bit underwhelming recently. Yeah. And I think Paik is the golden boy, isn't he? Regardless of Doyle's performances, Paik's going to get in regardless. So I've chose to throw in a little bit of physicality in there just because it's Stoke and they're going to bring that level of intensity to that. Roberts on the left, Dutch in the 10, Osman on the right.
Roberts on the right, you mean?
Sorry, Roberts on the right, Dutch in the 10, Osman on the left, and Prisk in the 9.
Oh, you're going for Prisk starting? Okay, fair enough.
I'm throwing him straight in again because of Stokes.
Something else worth mentioning as well, that Bright will be back as well, available. Yeah. I'm imagining. So do you think he's got a chance of starting instead of Awata?
If he gives up the SIGs.
Well, he had a really good AFCON.
And obviously I say that completely in jest. So it's a good challenge. You know what, Dad? I'm not a fan of Awata at right back. I don't think you are either.
No.
But is he Samuel played too much football in such a short space of time because it's a tournament-based game when you are at Ofcom? Does he need a bit of a break and a rest just for a week or two while he rests from that? I don't know.
Or is he primed and ready?
100%, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. He could be absolutely chomping at the bit, couldn't he?
Yeah.
So if he is, why not? Why not? But I think Awata needs to move from right back.
But with the players we brought in, where now? Because
Yeah.
if you stick him in that midfield now, and we've got Solis in there as well, haven't we? Obviously Doyle's in there, Pake.
It wouldn't surprise me, Dad. Again, knowing Chris Davies like we do now from the year he's been our manager.
For Awata in goal.
It wouldn't surprise me if Awata and Pake went back in the midfield.
Yeah, I agree, and I see where you're coming from. But you've got the likes of Doyle and Solis in the mix now. Obviously, Mark Leonard was originally in the mix. He's clearly going to be sold now, and we know from what we've seen, he's a decent player, but he never got a look in, did he?
No.
And I think that could happen here. And this is why I think that the choice is really, really important. That's why I think Watts will be at right back. Of course, we've got him, and obviously we've got Bright there, and obviously we'll have Ethan Laird coming back at some point in the future. And it's great having competition for places, but we've said before, how are you going to keep all these players happy?
It's a good point, yeah.
But Chris Davies should be looking to pick the most effective team for every game. And not just say, okay, you're definitely in the team. But, at the end of the day, if he's picking 3 points up, that's all that matters, really.
Exactly. So that I've based my team off a bit of physicality, a bit of height, because I know what Stoke are like. And fair enough, I know I've thrown 3 of the new guys in there with Solis, Osman and Prisk, and that could be a risk. Put my hands up on it, but I think Solis is needed for the physicality. Osman's needed because Kumas isn't up to scratch or where we need him to be. And I said Prisk I've put in there just so we actually have a fighting chance to ruffle a few feathers at the back for Stoke. So
I think, again, it's difficult with new players, isn't it? And Chris Dave, my mindset as a manager would be
ease him in.
Yeah. Just for the first couple of games.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. But then he's got them. Why not use them if he feels that they're up to speed? Because the likes of Prisk and Solis and Osman, they're going to have been with the club a week, less than a week.
Yeah. I think, Dad, if I'm going to go to your point, which is with my mature hat on and Chris Davies easing players in, I still stand by Osman because we're lacking depth on the left. And I kind of stand by Solis because of the physicality. If anything, I'd maybe swap Prisk for Stansfield.
Yeah.
If I'm going to put my Chris Davies cap
but you've got
on.
Stansfield as your 10, haven't you?
No Dutch.
Oh, so Stansfield's on your bench?
On my bench, yeah.
Oh, that is controversial.
Yeah.
I think Stano, I've put him in my number 10. So I think Stano will be either the 9 or the 10 in virtually every game. Of course, if he goes off form or gets injured or gets suspended, there's nothing you can do about that. But that's an interesting one.
By the way, and again, I'm not saying, by making that decision, I'm not saying Stansfield's done anything massively wrong here. I'm just thinking about, round pegs in square holes come to mind a little bit. And in terms of that, for the number 9, it would either be Prisk or Stansfield. And because if you look at Stoke centre-half's profile and stature, I think a little bit of height wouldn't go amiss.
Yeah, fair enough.
I would put Stansfield on the bench. And also, Dad, Stansfield has had a niggle.
So you might give him a bit of a rest.
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, that's my kind of thoughts on it.
Okay, so what about score prediction? Shall I go first? 'Cause I think you went first, didn't you?
Sure.
Last couple. I've gone for a narrow 1-0 victory for Blues because they don't concede many goals and they don't score many either.
I like your strategy. 1-0 every week until it comes in.
No. Look back at the previous podcast, people. That's the first time I've predicted 1-0.
No, it was 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, apart from that game. But the other ones have been 2s and 1-2s.
There we go. Rewriting history. I've gone for a narrow win as well, but I've gone for a few more goals. I've gone for Stoke 1, Birmingham 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
I can see Stoke scoring because of that height and physicality. We look vulnerable from set pieces.
Yeah, okay.
In fact, I'll call it. I think Stoke will score from a corner. And I think we'll still win 2-1.
Okay, well, if that's the case, 1-0, 2-1, it's all 3 points. But we're coming up against a good team, and it's a different challenge. But we are at home, and we have got a good home record, so we should be confident in that. And let's see what these new players can do.
Absolutely, but hopefully we carry that momentum on and get another 3 points. So, as always, Birmingham City supporters, we would love to hear from you. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Stoke City supporters, we'd love to hear from you as well. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you liked the video specifically, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and check us out on our social media channels. We have an X page, we have an Instagram page, and we're also over on Spotify, so you can listen and watch us over there. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and press that bell icon so you get notified every time we post. And myself and Dad will see you on the next one, all about Birmingham City.